Okay, so my blood is done spinning. So I take it out. All right. So you can see here that all of the blood is down here, and it's packed way, way down and has separated from the saline. So what I'm going to do is I like to pipette a lot of it off. Urine sediment I typically just dump. However, with this one, I don't want the red cells to mix with the saline again. So I am going to try to hush. Just continue to pipette off the supernatant, which is the saline above the red cells. There we go. All right. So once I get most of it out, then I pour some of it. All right. So you can see with the blood versus urine sediment, you don't get as much out at the bottom. No big deal. So I'm going to take my new methylene blue stain. As you can see, it says right there. I'm just going to put 1 drop in here. Right. And then I take my pipette and I like to suck it up and mix it a little bit so that I know that all of the cells that are in there are getting mixed. And then I take my pipette and I put it all the way down at the bottom and I suck up what's left. So now that I have what's left, what I'm going to do is take my slide, which is clean. I'm going to place 1 drop in the middle, along with my new methylene blue stain. Okay, and then I'm going to take an individual cover slip. Sorry, I had to put the iPad upside down so that everybody could see. So as you can see here, my drop is on there. I'm trying to turn it without dropping my drop off of the slide. You can see it's there, and I'm just going to place the microscope cover slip, I apologize, on top of it. Then you can see it spreads along the whole slip. So I'm going to sit this down and reposition the camera really fast so that I don't know what that doorbell was, but so now I'm going to put my slide onto my microscope and I'm going to look at it on 10 power, which is the lowest power, 10 magnification. And now this blood was drawn on China, my dog, so I obviously know that she is not heartworm positive. However, I do live in a heavily wooded area, so even if it didn't test on if she's showing symptoms and it didn't test on the ELISA test, I could do this and see if I find any microfilaria in the blood itself. In the microfilaria, I actually do have a pretty cool picture to help with my description, but when I look at this on 10 power, I'm going to focus it so I can see the individual cells. Now, when you look at this on 10 power, it almost just looks like sand. You don't see individual red cells. You also don't have a feathered edge. They're all piled on top of each other. So ultimately you can't see an individual red cell, which doesn't matter. Once you look at this slide and you get it focused, then it looks like there's sand pretty much underneath of your field of view. You can scroll around and see if you find anything. Right now all I see is a little bit of stain debris. Some air bubbles and what I believe is a hair, some kind of fiber. So when you're looking at this, if microfilaria were to show up, I don't have a picture of what it would look like on 10 power. However, everything on here looks like sand. So when you find a worm or a baby worm, which is a microfilaria on here, it will be very apparent. You'll be able to see the worm itself, its entire body, and it'll show up that, like I said previously, they almost kind of look to me like strongyloides type worms. They show up kind of clearish on the microscope. They're pretty big, even on 10 power. They also are larger on one side. And if you look here, this is on 40 power, but this is what I mean. So from here all the way up to here, you can see one long microfilaria worm. And they're kind of clear, they're kind of gray. The red cells on this picture are stained like a slight red purple, so I'm not 100% sure what stain they used.
Trying to come.
But this is exactly what I would picture it to look like if I were to see it on the microscope. On 40, not 10. They would show up the same on power 10, however, they wouldn't be as large because obviously on 10 you don't get as close of a view as you do on 40.